Greetings, adventurer. I hope you're well on your travels. Um, Today, I would like to do the second part of my MapleStory 0 video, where I read from the fandom wiki page to you. So, you can go into the description box and find a link to the wiki page and read it yourself, or I can read it to you and you can just listen, and I'll put some gameplay up, like last time, and yeah, enjoy. Alright, so main story. Prologue. Because of Fang's warning, Nine began to grow suspicious about the Shadow Knight's true motives. He secretly began dumping the shade neutralizer that Will gave him into the bushes, which helped him realize that the neutralizer was only meant to brainwash him. After going to Umbra Temple on Fang's instructions, he found that there was no Darkling Master, but only a young girl who looked just like him. Some time later, Nine returned from a successful Darkling hunt and was promoted to a cadet from an official Shadow Knight. He then asked if he could switch assignments with Keeney and purchase supplies from the town outside of Shadowvale. However, Will forbade him from doing so and explained that their mission to protect the world from the Darklings was too important for Nine's combat skills to be wasted on supply runs. However, as an apology, he followed Nine to take the rest of the day off. Though Nine pretended to understand, he realized that Will and the other Shadow Knights were doing everything in their power to keep him from leaving Shadowvale. Soon after, Lyra reported a Darkling force arriving and assigned Nine to intercept them. Nine then realized that the Darklings only seemed to appear when the Shadow Knights needed him occupied. After taking the shade neutralizer bottle from Will, he secretly dumped the potion into the bushes before heading out. Nine quickly completed his mission and made his way to the Umbra Temple once again, where he marveled at how everything still looked the same since his last visit. He also wondered whether the Darkling who had led him into the past was still around. As he attempted to wake the sleeping girl in the temple, he noticed that one of the statues in the room had briefly twinkled. Upon examining it, he felt as though the statue were almost real, as if it had been a person who had been turned to stone. He then found a scroll at the statue's feet and picked it up before heading back to Shadowvale. In the library, he read the scrolls and learned about the free transcendence of Maple World. He also read that the world had held a secret that even the Transcendents didn't know, and while Ryan and Alicia had been content in their roles, the Black Mage had been too curious for his own good. And the steep cost of digging into the secrets of the world had corrupted him, leading him to sow a path of destruction and pain across Maple World until he had been sealed away by the brave heroes. He then read about how Ryan had attempted to create a new future by creating the child of the goddess, whom the Black Mage and his underling, the King of Spiders, were searching for. Overwhelmed and confused by the information, he realized that he needed to awaken the girl for answers. Once he went outside, however, he found the Shadow Knights in the middle of a meeting. Where they told him that Will had ordered them to attack the Umbra Temple and destroy everything inside. As the knights began to move out, Will pulled Nine aside and told him that he was planning to keep him on the sidelines for the battle. Nine protested that he was ready, and so Will agreed him to join the mission, provided that he drank his shade neutralizer. Realizing Will's pain, 9 relented and told Will that he would be content with staying on the sidelines. Once the knights headed out, 9 attempted to chase after them, but he was stopped by Kine at the town's border. 9 easily defeated Kine and continued to Umbra Temple, where he encountered Kaisen, Seamus, and Lyra, who attempted to convince him to surrender. However, 9 easily forced his way through and attempted to wake the girl. Just then, Will himself arrived and engaged in a battle with 9. Their fight caused the glass container to shatter, making the girl fall to the floor. Defeated by Will, 9 desperately reached out towards the girl and touched hands, causing her to awaken. With both children and goddesses reunited, the power of time awakened within them, returning the Umbra Temple back to its original state of freeing all the priests from their stone prisons. The Umbra Temple then disappeared into a space between Mirror World and Maple World, preventing Will and the Shadow Knights from entering. Chapter 1: Leafre. Now safe from Will, 9 and the girl learned from Pieta, one of the priests, about the history of transcendence and how both the Black Mage and Rhine had been sealed away. She also explained that the limitations of the transcendent of time was that they could change the fate of anyone but themselves, and that Ryan had created the Child of Goddess in order to keep power from time from the Black Mage. The power of time from the Black Mage. When 9 asked why there was a female version of himself, Pieta told him that Will had somehow found a way to split the Child of the Goddess into 2 in order to weaken them. Though she couldn't say why their genders were different. Knowing that they needed names, the girl decided to name him Alpha and called herself Beta. Alpha told her that he had already decided to name himself Zero as a way to represent him breaking free of the cycle of brainwashing, but Beta told him that their names were final, much to his annoyance. Pieta then told them that they were in a prison created by the Black Mage called Mirror World, which cut them off from Maple World, the source of their power. However, she explained that their awakening had resulted in a portal to Maple World opening. Alpha and Beta attempted to enter Maple World, but they quickly realized that they were invisible there, as they hadn't regained their powers. Pieta told them that Will had shattered the goddess Teardrop, which contained the power of time, and had spread its pieces across Mirror World. Though she wished that the priests could help them, she explained that they weren't trained in martial combat, and that their extended lifespans were too tied to the temple, meaning that they wouldn't last long outside of it. In order to get a better understanding of where the goddess Teardrops could be, Alpha and Beta decided to return to Shadowvale in order to find a map of Mirror World. A priest named Benedict accompanied them to the outskirts of Shadowvale and taught them the basics of using their transcendent powers in tag team combat. They then fought their way through Shadowvale into the library, where they found Milo. Though he had been told that Alpha was a traitor, Milo believed that it was all a misunderstanding and allowed them to pass, claiming that they would see each other again one day. The twins then found a map and brought it back to the temple, where Benedict's brother Cassius used the power of dowsing in order to find the goddess's teardrops. Using the dowsing technique, Cassius also discovered that the goddess relic was somewhere in Mirrorworld. Pieta explained that Rhine had used an hourglass relic to channel her powers and told them that the relic would allow them to double their strength. Cassius then sent them to search for the relic in Leafre. In Leafre, Alpha and Beta met with Chief Tartamo, who told them that he had never heard about such an object as the relic before. However, he explained that a baby dragon had disappeared from Leafre and that the halflings had discovered a monstrous dragon when they had chased after it. He also told them that a young man had offered to fight the dragon, though he hadn't returned since heading out to face it. With no other options, the halfling fingers had decided to ask Afrian for help, and so Tartamo asked them to speak to Afrian on his behalf. He added that since Afrian was wise, he might know about the relic as well. Outside Afrian's cave, they encountered a baby Mir, who allowed them to enter after passing his test. Inside the cave, they encountered a slumbering Afrian, who Mir explained was busy preparing to make a spirit pact. Because Afrian couldn't be disturbed, Alpha and Beta asked Mir about the relic, which he explained was in the possession of Horntail. Back in Leafre, Mir decided to test their strength before he would allow them to face Horntail by ordering them to hunt beetles and Dur beetles in the western Minar forest. After providing themselves, Mir detected. After proving themselves, Mir directed them to Horntail's cave, where they fought Horntail in order to obtain the relic. Suddenly, Freud appeared and ordered them to step away from Horntail, claiming that it was a baby dragon. Having spent the whole day trying to calm it down, Freud was upset that Alpha and Beta had ruined his hard work and ordered them to leave the cave until Horntail calmed down. Frustrated, they returned to the temple and told the priest what happened. Sometime later, they returned to the cave and found Horntail still crying. Freud suggested that they sing Horntail a lullaby, and his sleep spells could give Horntail nightmares. However, Alpha and Beta began singing so terribly that Freud yelled at them to stop and check to see if Horntail's ears were bleeding. Freud then suggested that they ask a halflinger named Pam to help them. In Leafre, Pam told them that she had once obtained a rare music box from the fairy queen, though it had since broken. Pam asked them to find harp feathers and blood harp feathers, which they used to fix the music box. They then used it to put Horntail to sleep, after which Freud agreed to answer their questions. He introduced himself as a magician who had begun studying Horntail at the behest of the halflingers. After meddling with its mind, he had seen Horntail's memories of when it had been a small baby. Horntail had discovered the relic in the forest, which had caused it to rapidly age into a fully grown dragon. Having absorbed the relic, Horntail had been chased out of Leafre until it had been found in the cave, where it had been hiding ever since. The twins then returned to the temple and explained the situation to the priests. Pieta told them that anyone who touched the relic without the transcendence of time's protection would suffer the curse of time. She told them that the only relic's owner could lift the curse on Horntail,
but the fact that the relic hadn't immediately reacted to them meant that it was upset at them for having left it alone for so long. Pieta told them that in order to lift the curse, they would need to offer a substitute to sacrifice, and suggest that they seek help from a magician, as doing so with only the power of time was nearly impossible. The twins sought out Freud and asked for his help in transferring the curse from Horntail to themselves. Though Freud warned that it could damage them, Alpha reassured him that they would be fine, as the curse had the same signature as themselves. Freud asked them to bring him a Centaurus Kinghorn and a Manon feather, while he would provide a Leviathan scale from his storeroom. Together, they were able to successfully absorb Horntail's curse, turning it back into a baby dragon. Freud then told them that he would help assimilate Horntail back into its normal life before continuing his research. Having reclaimed the relic, the twins returned to the temple and wondered whether they might see Freud again in Maple World. Peter then told them that the relic possessed its own ego, and so it would need its owner to prove their worth in order to be wielded. Alpha and Beta then Alpha and Beta then entered twin parallel dimensions and met the spirits of their relics, which had split into two. While Beta fought Lapis, Alpha fought Lazuli. After defeating them, the spirits acknowledged their strengths and possessed their swords, enhancing the strengths of their weapons. Alright, I'm going to stop there and continue this in the future. So if you are interested in me reading the rest, I would suggest subscribing. It would be really helpful, because that way you wouldn't miss a video when I upload it. But yes, I apologize for any mispronunciations in the reading. And yeah, I'll do another one. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely day, and bye bye.